In this podcast episode, Dr. Rhonda Patrick explores a wide array of fascinating topics related to health, longevity, brain performance, and cutting-edge biomedical science. Throughout the conversation, she delves into aging and biological age reversal, the powerful effects of exercise and fasting, the benefits of creatine for both muscles and brain function, groundbreaking advances in gene therapy and stem cells, ethical questions surrounding genetic modification, the importance of mental health and happiness, the gut-brain connection, and much more. Dr. Patrick's insights intertwine scientific evidence and practical advice, aiming to empower listeners to optimize their health and longevity. Dr. Patrick begins by distinguishing chronological age from biological age, the latter reflecting the actual condition of our body's cells and tissues. A healthy lifestyle can keep biological age younger than chronological age, while poor habits accelerate aging. She highlights groundbreaking research involving induced pluripotent stem cells, iPSCs, pioneered by Nobel laureate Shinya Yamanaka, showing how old skin cells can be reprogrammed back to youthful stem cells capable of becoming any tissue type, essentially reversing cellular aging. Interestingly, emerging animal studies demonstrate that aging can be reversed epigenetically without losing the cell's identity by pulsing these reprogramming factors briefly. However, translating this into human therapies remains challenging due to delivery mechanisms and safety concerns. Dr. Patrick also discusses futuristic prospects like 3D printed organs grown from a patient's own cells, which could revolutionize organ failure treatment and aging. Gene therapy, which can enhance longevity genes such as FOXO3, is another exciting frontier, with ongoing trials in animals making their way toward humans. Exercise, especially vigorous intensity physical activity, stands out as a cornerstone of health and longevity. Dr. Patrick shares compelling evidence from studies on sedentary middle-aged adults, showing that a progressive, structured program, including cardiovascular and resistance training, done for about 5 hours per week, reversed age-related changes in heart structure equivalent to a 20-year rejuvenation. Exercise increases heart flexibility, counters the stiffening caused by reactions between glucose and collagen, and is critical for mitigating cardiovascular disease, once the leading cause of death. Data from large population studies using accelerometers show that vigorous exercise greatly outperforms moderate or light activity in reducing mortality risks from all causes, cancer-related death, and cardiovascular disease. Even brief daily exercise snacks of just a few minutes of high-intensity movement, such as sprinting upstairs or jumping jacks, can achieve significant reductions in mortality risk. Dr. Patrick argues for considering sedentary behavior as a disease itself, underscoring the necessity of incorporating physical activity as a personal hygiene routine akin to brushing teeth. Fasting and metabolic flexibility are associated with improved mental clarity and neurological health. Dr. Patrick describes how intermittent fasting and ketosis, using fatty acids as fuel and producing ketone bodies, can help reset satiety hormones disrupted by visceral fat and insulin resistance, which are linked with overeating and obesity. Ketones, especially beta-hydroxybutyrate, BHB, serve as a clean energy source and potent signaling molecules influencing brain function. They promote the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, neuroplasticity, and have anxiolytic effects through upregulating inhibitory neurotransmitters like GABA. Dr. Patrick personally uses exogenous ketones before cognitively demanding or anxiety-provoking tasks to enhance focus and calm the mind, noting they help smooth out the noise and distractions typical in high-pressure situations. While creatine is widely recognized for its ability to enhance muscle strength and training volume, Dr. Patrick highlights emerging research revealing its importance for brain health. Creatine phosphate in muscles stores energy for rapid use, thus improving exercise capacity and recovery by enabling more reps and higher volume in resistance or high-intensity training. Creatine is also synthesized and utilized by the brain, where it becomes especially important in stress conditions like sleep deprivation, aging, or neurodegenerative diseases. Supplementing creatine at higher doses, around 10 grams per day, can elevate brain creatine levels and improve cognitive performance, particularly under stress. Dr. Patrick recommends taking creatine with coffee, to avoid added sugars from juices, and attests from personal experience that creatine supplementation alleviates afternoon cognitive slumps. Gene editing techniques such as CRISPR hold profound potential for eliminating genetic diseases by correcting mutated nucleotides. Beyond gene therapy that supplements beneficial genes to bolster longevity pathways and cellular stress responses, gene editing could empower enhancements in intelligence, disease resistance, and lifespan extension. Dr. Patrick addresses the ethical dilemmas posed by the prospect of choosing offspring traits such as height, eye color, or cognitive ability. While screening embryos for serious diseases is becoming standard, genetically designed children to fulfill aesthetic or performance desires raises thorny debates about societal impact, fairness, and unintended consequences. She remarks that intelligence is multifaceted and linked to neurodiversity. Attempting to screen in or screen out personality types or abilities risks oversimplifying complex human attributes. The integration of artificial intelligence with gene engineering is expected to accelerate these developments, but Dr. Patrick cautions that AI can err, especially depending on input quality and model sophistication. Anxiety management emerges as equally critical for optimal performance and well-being. Dr. Patrick shares her personal strategies for moderating anxiety in high-pressure settings such as debates and podcasts. Hard physical exercise before mentally demanding tasks enhances cognition and reaction times, leaving the brain better equipped to focus and filter distractions. Exercise also builds mental resilience through the experience of overcoming physical discomfort. Cold exposure raises norepinephrine levels to improve alertness and calm anxiety, while sauna use promotes better sleep through thermoregulatory and immune system effects. Exogenous ketones can also provide immediate cognitive and anxiolytic benefits. The conversation expands into broader themes of mindset, positivity, and happiness. Dr. Patrick emphasizes that happiness is not accidental, but requires deliberate effort involving relationships, purpose, and satisfaction derived from accomplishing challenging goals. She stresses the value of close social bonds, including marriage and parenting, which consistently correlate with longer life and psychological well-being. Reflecting on mortality can illuminate what truly matters, shifting focus away from transient desires like wealth or status toward meaningful connection and experience, which nurture fulfillment. Dr. Patrick and the host explore how being married with children compares to other lifestyles in terms of health outcomes. There is strong consensus that close, loving relationships and the joy and challenges of parenting foster a sense of purpose and happiness, which are key drivers of longevity. Parenthood, despite difficulties, provides unparalleled love and motivation that motivate healthier behaviors and emotional fulfillment. Dr. Patrick advocates educating children early on regarding nutrition and habits, empowering even young kids to understand the effects of sugar and lifestyle on long-term health. They also acknowledge societal trends toward lower birth rates and increasing reluctance to have children, attributing some of this to cultural narratives that emphasize hardship and sacrifice over joy. The gut-brain axis plays a vital role in health and aging. The gut, as the first organ exposed to ingested food, is susceptible to inflammation triggered by diet, especially with ultra-processed, high-sugar and high-fat meals. Inflammation arises from the release of bacterial components such as lipopolysaccharide, LPS, into circulation, which activate immune responses that affect the brain and can provoke depressive symptoms and cognitive decline. The microbiome communicates with the brain via the vagus nerve, influencing neurochemistry and behavior, including anxiety. Certain bacterial profiles confer resilience or vulnerability, with animal studies demonstrating microbiome transplantation can alter anxiety phenotypes. While consumer microbiome testing is becoming accessible, interpreting results and acting on them remains an evolving science. Nevertheless, increasing fermentable fiber intake from foods like broccoli, mushrooms, oats, and berries supports beneficial bacteria. Exercise also strengthens intestinal barrier integrity, reducing leaky gut and systemic inflammation. Probiotic supplements have transient effects and require ongoing use without establishing permanent microbiota colonization. The dialogue touches on the enormity of potential advances enabled by artificial intelligence, gene editing, and personalized medicine. The possibility of enhancing not just lifespan, but health span through genetic tuning, regenerative therapies, and metabolic optimization promises transformative impacts. Concerns arise about the social and ethical questions surrounding human enhancement, biotech access, and the definition of intelligence and normalcy. The host and Dr. Patrick ponder how society will adapt to a future where cognitive abilities or physical traits can be engineered and potentially commodified. They also discuss how human qualities like empathy, creativity, and imperfection will remain uniquely valuable in an AI-pervaded world, potentially reshaping what humanity values. Dr. Patrick shares insights about chemotherapy's role and limitations. While effective against blood cancers and pediatric leukemias, chemotherapy is a blunt tool for solid tumors due to hypoxic tumor microenvironments limiting drug delivery. Exercise as an adjunct therapy is emerging as powerful in oncology, improving chemotherapy effectiveness, reducing tumor size, and lowering mortality across cancers such as prostate, colon, and breast. The episode underscores modifiable lifestyle factors like exercise, weight management, and diet as key cancer prevention measures, controlling risks associated with visceral fat and metabolic dysfunction. When discussing childhood nutrition, Dr. Patrick advocates educating children about the effects of sugar on health from an early age. Rather than simply forbidding sweets, educating children with age-appropriate explanations about sugar's impact on the brain and body fosters understanding and self-regulation. Although children naturally crave sweetness due to dopaminergic reward responses, transparent communication and early nutrition education can help develop healthier attitudes toward candy and processed foods, with parents and caregivers playing a pivotal role. The conversation highlights how bilingualism and other cognitive challenges promote brain plasticity, increasing protective factors like BDNF and delaying neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. Engaging in novel cognitive activities, whether learning new languages or spatial tasks like London taxi driver's route memorization, stimulates the brain, enhancing synaptic strength and neuron growth. Thus, mental stimulation through language acquisition or other complex tasks offers a complementary route to exercise for brain health and longevity. Dr. Patrick further elaborates on practical strategies for managing stress and improving focus, including targeted exercise before demanding tasks, cold exposure to raise norepinephrine, and exogenous ketones to provide fast brain fuel with calming effects. She also touches on the neurochemical adaptations involved in exercise and heat exposure, such as endorphins and dynorphins, and how exposure to moderate discomfort builds resilience and improves mood. Emphasizing research on happiness and longevity, Dr. Patrick stresses relationships with spouses, children, family, and friends provide essential macronutrients for mental health and lifespan extension. Feeling connected and purposeful profoundly impacts disease risk, resilience, and overall well-being. She encourages cultivating gratitude, focusing on positive experiences, and engaging in meaningful endeavors to counteract the pervasive negativity and anxiety found in modern culture. The episode briefly addresses concerns about the effect of environmental electromagnetic fields, EMFs, on health, sparked by a cluster of tendon injuries among the San Francisco 49ers training near a high-power electrical substation. While observational data suggest a correlation, Dr. Patrick cautions that causality is unproven, noting confounding variables and limited scientific literature on this specific issue. She underscores the psychological nocebo effect, where belief in harm can exacerbate symptoms or injury risk, possibly playing a role. The episode advocates a balanced view, remaining open to new evidence, but avoiding overreaction without solid data. Toward the end, Dr. Patrick discusses the role and limits of AI in scientific understanding, the importance of evidence-based communication, and her commitment to delivering science-backed health insights through her podcast and newsletter. She warns that free AI models may provide inaccurate information and that deep scientific inquiry requires thoughtful evaluation. She shares her approach of skepticism, testing interventions personally and encouraging nuance rather than absolute claims, recognizing placebo effects and individual variability in responses. This comprehensive dialogue unites diverse threads in health, science, mindset, and future technologies, reflecting Dr. Patrick's extensive expertise and passion for improving human longevity and quality of life.